Hello everyone, this is G and I'm back with another video. So I hope everybody is doing well. So you may be wondering, why do I have an image of Rudy Giuliani, former mayor of New York City, right? Avowed Trump supporter. I think he works for Trump as an attorney or his personal attorney, something to that effect, right? And Sasha Baron Cohen in character as Borat, right? Well, the reason I have this image is because Mr. Cohen here, right, Borat, may have, as we say in New York City, may have just written himself a check that his ass can't cash. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, as I just saw and looked up for myself on Viva Frey's video, right, apparently Borat pranked Rudy Giuliani, right, for his new upcoming film, right, the Borat 2. So I'm reading an article right now from, I think it's NBC or ABC. I think it's NBC, one of them CB things, right? It says that Rudy Giuliani caught in compromising position for new Borat film. The prank is one of the notable moments in the Sasha Baron Cohen sequel due out Friday. So, here's the way it's described. I haven't seen this video of this supposed prank, and I frankly don't want to, so I'm going by other people's descriptions of it. So it says here, in the film, a copy of which was obtained by NBC, so it's NBC News, Giuliani and a young woman posing as a reporter who are part of Cohen's sting, can be seen going into, and I want to emphasize this, a hotel room for drinks at the woman's invitation, after completing what Giuliani, the former mayor of New York City, apparently believed to be a real interview about the coronavirus pandemic and Trump's response to it. The incident occurred when Giuliani was trying to remove his microphone with the help of the actress, which had been used as part of the movie's interview with him. The film, which is being released Friday on Amazon Prime, shows Giuliani reclining on a bed and then putting his hand down his pants and moving it around for what appears to be a few seconds while the actress playing Borat's teenage daughter, Maria Bakalova, 24, who is pretending to be a television reporter, stands in front of him. Right? So it says here that afterward, the scene is eventually interrupted by Cohen, who bursts into the bedroom in his Borat persona shouting, "She's 15, she's too old for you." Right? And it continues. Right? So there's your situation. Here's the thing. Borat may have just broken the laws. Sasha Baron Cohen may have just broken the law. Now, not the law on revenge porn, right? I watched Viva's video and he explored the idea of whether or not revenge porn would be a strong argument here, because there was a guy, there was a tweet from a guy named Mike Chernovich, right? That was saying, oh, it's revenge porn. Twitter is allowing people to post revenge porn, but blocking the New York Post from sharing their story about Hunter Biden. From what I know of revenge porn and the legal definition of that and whatnot, which Viva goes over in his video, I don't think it's revenge porn, right? Revenge porn is something like you send, for a woman, for example, you send topless photos or, photos of your groin area. If you're a man, photos of your groin area. And then that person goes on to unlawfully and without your knowledge and or consent post those pictures online, right? I don't really think that this instance really falls into that. First of all, the image in itself, right, is not uber intimate or anywhere near pornographic. Apparently, from again what I heard and saw in Viva's video and whatnot, Giuliani has his shirt open, right, and it says that he has his hand or his hands down his pants. Well, here's the thing: unlike Jeff Toobin, right, Giuliani still has his pants on, which means that you cannot definitively figure out what is going on down there. Of course, we all have our assumptions, right? When a man puts his hand down his pants, right? The old Al Bundy, as it were. But it's no definitive proof that Giuliani's actually doing anything sexual to himself when he has his hands down his pants. For all we know, he could just be resting the palms of his hands on the top of his thighs, right? And according to Giuliani, I'm looking for the mention here in this article. So here's what Giuliani says. Giuliani says that the Borat video is a complete fabrication. He says, I was tucking in my shirt off after taking off the recording equipment. And he says, at no time before, during, or after the interview was I ever inappropriate. If Sasha Baron Cohen implies otherwise, he is a stone-cold liar. That's what he says. Right? So according to Giuliani, he wasn't doing anything untoward or inappropriate. He claims he was just tucking his shirt back into his pants. Who knows? I wasn't there. Don't want to be there. Of all the men I've ever wanted to see in various states of undress, Rudy Giuliani is not one of them. So, here's the reason why I make this video. Because the media, because they're the media, right? They are, as usual, trying to take something and not exactly be truthful about it. For example, here are some headlines. Here are just a few headlines, right? Regarding this story, right? NBC News, Rudy Giuliani caught in compromising position in new Borat film. The Guardian, Rudy Giuliani faces questions after compromising scene in new Borat film. IndieWire, and this is the one that really really gets me the most. Borat 2. The real news is Rudy Giuliani's staggering lack of judgment. Here's the thing. Giuliani, from best I can tell, did not do anything wrong. This is by no means the Jeff Toobin situation, right? Getting lucky with yourself on company time and then being foolish enough to have your camera on while you're doing this. No. According to the article I was just reading, again, Giuliani he got drinks, right? This woman took him to a bedroom, took him to a hotel, right? So he has absolutely no reason to believe that this is a setup. He's not on company time, right? He most likely, I will say it's more likely than not, especially if you know Giuliani's history, right? He's been married 3 times. His most recent marriage just ended last year, apparently, from the research I was doing. Towards the end of his second term as mayor here in New York City in the late 90s, he was in numerous sex scandals involving his mistress and kicking his wife out of Gracie Mansion, and his daughter constantly fighting with him and insulting him. Right? If you were living in New York City at that time, you probably remember. What a lot of people, I guess you could say, have forgotten over the years is that Giuliani's second run as mayor and really his career were in the toilet, right? Just before 9/11 happened. New York collectively as a group was pretty much ready to just throw him out into Jersey. We were that tired of him. No one liked him in New York City, and many New Yorkers don't like him now. Although I would say now it's more because of the vote blue no matter who indoctrination that New York has undergone in the years since. But basically, 9/11 saved Rudy's career. As much as I hate to say that, as much as I hate to attribute a tragedy where thousands of people died and the world was changed forever, it is true in my estimation, as best as I know, that terrorist attack, right, the attack on the city and all of America and ultimately the world, it saved Giuliani's career because it allowed him to come forward and basically play the hero, right? He became America's mayor for some time after that. So, right, so what does all this mean? Why do I bring all of this up? Because here's the thing. While I don't think that the revenge porn angle, right, if you wanted to say take this to court, would work, but I do think, and again, I'm not perfect. I'm again not a judge, not a cop, not an attorney. I just like to believe I am somewhat learned about these things. But here's the thing: I do think that Mr. Borat, Mr. Cohen, might have just run afoul of Section 250.45, also known as unlawful surveillance in the second degree. Now, here's what it says. There are two definitions in particular that I think apply the most, and it would be this, right? A person is guilty of unlawful surveillance in the second degree when, one, for his or her own, or, and let's emphasize this, another person's amusement, entertainment, or profit, or for the purpose of degrading or abusing a person, he or she intentionally uses or installs or permits the utilization or installation of an imaging device to surreptitiously, is that how you say it? View, broadcast, or record a person dressing or undressing, or the sexual or other intimate parts of such a person at a place and time when such person has a reasonable expectation of privacy without such person's knowledge or consent. Now, let's apply this to the Giuliani situation, right? It could be argued that this is done for Sasha Baron Cohen's entertainment, right, for his own personal entertainment, and ultimately for the entertainment of the viewing audience, right? It could also be argued that this is being done for profit, given that this is supposed to be a film, and I doubt they're going to show it for free, right? And it could be argued that it's being used for the purpose to, at the very least, degrade and embarrass Rudy Giuliani, especially given that it's come out now, right? News of this has come out now after the Hunter Biden email scandal, right? And that rabbit hole that keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So it's very interesting that now that they would mention this, right? This would now become a story. And then it says, he or she intentionally uses or installs. Well, it's secret cameras, right? Giuliani didn't know they were in there. The only people who would have known were the girl, right, who basically lured Giuliani there under false pretenses, right? And then, of course, Sasha Baron Cohen himself, who, according to the article, was hiding in the room, in the closet or whatever, and then, springs out and tries to scare Giuliani and all this other stuff, right? Right, and then it says here, right, to view, broadcast, or record a person dressing or undressing. Giuliani, from what I've read, was getting undressed. The girl was helping him unbutton his shirt and take the wires off, right, because he was doing an interview, right? And then it says, at a place and time when such a person has a reasonable expectation of privacy without such person's knowledge of consent. Well, I would imagine that for most people, when a person takes you back to a hotel room and starts to help you undress, you are definitely anticipating privacy. And there's no reason to believe Giuliani knew about about the true intentions of this or about the cameras beforehand. And then there's definition 3, which I think also applies here, at least, again, to my observation, to my reasoning, right? It says here, 3A, right? For no legitimate purpose, he or she intentionally uses or installs or permits the utilization or installation of an imaging device to surreptitiously view, broadcast, or record, I want to emphasize this part, a person in a bedroom, changing room, fitting room, restroom, toilet, bathroom, washroom, shower, or any room assigned to guests or patrons in a motel, hotel, or inn without such person's knowledge or consent. According to the article by NBC that I was reading, guess what? Giuliani and the girl were in a hotel room. He's in a bedroom. he's getting undressed, right? Or at least he's getting partially undressed. The woman's helping him get partially undressed. So while I don't think that the revenge porn laws in New York State apply, I do think that unlawful surveillance in the second degree may very well apply here. Here's the thing. Sasha Baron Cohen, for the sake of an embarrassing prank and joke, may have just gotten himself into a bit of hot water, legally speaking. Especially since, and here's the thing that people need to remember about Rudy Giuliani, right? He gets a lot of flack for being a Trump supporter and all this stuff. But here's the thing. The man isn't simply just a former mayor or a former politician. He's an attorney. He's a lawyer. Do you really want a lawyer pissed off at you? Okay, this is, some may say, well, this is similar to Jeff Toobin. No, it's not. Jeff Toobin is a legal analyst who should have known better. Who should have known better than to pleasure himself on company time and then record himself doing it. He claims it's unintentional. That would be a hard sell, right? Because it can be argued that either he's lying or that he should have known better. I'm in the camp of he should have known better. But here's the thing. The Giuliani situation is not the same, right? Giuliani is, again, off the clock. He's not anticipating any sort of recording. He's not using a recording device of any kind. He's expecting complete and total privacy. And yet, this happens to him, right? This is called a setup. Jeff Toobin was a fool. This is a setup. And this is a setup that, in my opinion, Sasha Baron Cohen went to, not just for a gag or for a laugh, but in my opinion, because Giuliani is such a avowed and very open supporter of Trump, right? This, in my opinion, was a gotcha moment. And to be fair, you know, Giuliani, again, if you're familiar with his history, as I outlined earlier, it's not surprising at all that he's going to fall for the honey trap. A young, pretty girl shows interest in him. I don't know of too many men, regardless of their age or experience in life or political positions, who are going to say no to that, right? But this was done to embarrass Giuliani, right? This, in my opinion, was the intent of all this. It was to embarrass the man. But, like many things, this may turn around and blow up in Baron Cohen's face, especially if Giuliani decides to turn around and sue him, right? If he decides that he's going to try to, you know, block the release of the film on Amazon Prime or whatnot. If there's the last person I would want to cross, it's a smart person who knows how the law works. The last person I want to screw over is an attorney, because they can take the law and they can use it against you however they want. And guess what? They can do it legally. They can do it lawfully. This is why I don't understand people like Sasha Baron Cohen or Akilah, obviously, or whatever. Those who think that just because they view themselves in the right, that they can do things that fly in the face, clearly fly in the face of the law. Just because you personally don't view yourself in the wrong does not mean you aren't wrong. You are not above the law. Being a liberal, being a Biden-Harris a supporter or whatever it is, doesn't mean that you get to, you know, pull cruel tricks like this on the opposite side, on the Republicans, just because, oh, he's a Republican, he's dirty, he's mean, he deserves it. Right? No, you can't do that. You cannot and should not do that. Because all it does in the end is just get you in trouble. Akilah, obviously, regardless of how much she whines and cries on Twitter and GoFundMe and different places, still has to pay Sargon of Akkad, $38,000, right? Because, again, she wrote herself a check her ass could not cash. because she kept trying to needle Sargon, right, and attack and show absolute disregard for the law and how the law could hurt her until the law hurt her by saying, hey, you owe this man now nearly 40 grand. And if Sasha Baron Cohen is not careful, he might find himself in a very similar situation or worse. Because you see, Aquila did not record anything involving Sargon, right? Their debate was over copyright, right? Here we have unlawful, in my opinion, unlawful secret camera video taping, right? And then, of course, the luring the man into the room in the first place under false pretenses. I do believe there are laws against that, and you may have violated those laws, Mr. Cohen, all for the sake of a stupid joke. If this comes back to bite you in the behind, if you indeed have written yourself a check you cannot cash, all I have to say to you, sir, is you get what you effing deserve, you clown. But anyway, that's the video. Please let me know what you think, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a good day and night, everybody. Bye.